Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I hope you're doing good. I am not too sure what I'm actually going to speak about. Well, let's say I have a huge list of notes. I can't even put them into a proper post at this point because the energies are just so intense. So I will try my best to speak them, and I will just more or less let it flow, whilst I'll probably also look at my notes at some point. And we'll take it from there. Now, massive heart activations, Emerald Heart Awakening is unfolding. Amuaria Heart Flame activations, which is really the Holy Spirit within our high heart, activating fully our permanent and God seed atom. And this is where our monad ignites. This is how we are ascending, so to say. So it's our crystal heart fully awakening, and the Emerald Heart, and with it cosmically. So that's what's unifying all of us as one cosmic heart. And it's very much being led by the divine union completions of the divine counterparts. So however you are experiencing this, again, ultimately, all of the energies I always talk about, it's from the point of the oneness, okay? From the one mind, the one consciousness. So when we talk about masculine, feminine, these are energies in divine union. This is all happening within us. Now, we might also experience this with relationships in our lives, because ultimately this is all about a divine union with all. So that in the end, we are one big happy unity field where everybody knows themselves as one. There's no more separation, which is fully disappearing now. No more fragmentation, which is the separation. And basically we'll be fully sovereign whilst also knowing ourselves as God, one another as God. We treat each other with respect and support and honor. And that is New Earth right there. And it all starts within and comes back to the self. That's why this is about a divine union within, and it has to be, in a way, first achieved or simultaneously whilst we do it with the others, because the others are really just extension or other aspects of us, okay? So it's about knowing we have boundaries and discernment, but we don't need to treat anyone like an enemy. Okay, and we don't need to be defensive, because the energies and frequencies and reality we are merging with now, all the wars have ended. As if they have never happened. This is the end of all wars. So you don't need to have a defense mechanism. Now, you, instead of a shield, you have a sovereign field. Okay, and that is a big shift in frequency, although it's basically doing the same thing. Because what we're doing is, instead of having to defend ourselves from negative energies, our field is so strong, we're radiating out the frequency where everything that comes into this field is either turned away because it can't, stand the frequency, or is being neutralized and purified or raised into a higher frequency. So we're the higher overriding frequency, because there's no more doubt left, as in full confidence, fully sovereign field, fully healed. And as that happens, we basically heal everything we come in contact with. And depending on how far we extend our field or what our missions are on Earth, we are basically healing the whole planet, which is what we're doing, because we're all connected to these different tribes, the star races that have seeded us, which are us, and we are now fully merging with those identities. And there's so much information coming in, so many downloads. My head is really like this, so I had to come on, even though I'm really tired, and I know many of us are tired. So it's probably best I don't write that much anyway and speak. And I know not everything can be taken in fully. There's a lot of high frequency that I transmit. Okay, so now, because somebody asked me if I can hold a container in, basically in purity, and my answer is yes. My main job here is to clear and purify. That's the one thing I do best. And I also activate dormant DNA codes and, our divine blueprint. Now, and again, we all do this, but these are my specialities. So does that mean that my own blueprint, or I am totally perfect, whatever that even may mean? Not quite there yet, but it doesn't mean that I can't fully seal this field in the highest source light, which I always transmit. So it's like my ego self steps away and my field is being cleared and healed together with yours, and anything that comes into this field is being purified and uplifted to a higher frequency and vibration. We're doing this together as one. And as I ascend, you ascend, because we're all one. And this is really true, okay? And yes, some of the bodies that have maybe too much of a toxic load, or the consciousness has too far degenerated, are not coming along in their physical body ascending with us. It's both ends. But don't worry about the people close to you, those with a soul, okay? Imagine everybody getting it. Imagine people changing. Ultimately, you know, we let go of, letting go is a big theme. We let go of any attachment to outcome. Everybody's soul is in charge here, okay? We give everybody the gift of sovereignty and free will, although free will so far has been very much messed with. So what we are anchoring here is fully taking down the artificial matrix simulation for everyone, bringing back the truth, and then people can understand, fully decide how far they want to go in ascension. But we're fully bringing down the 3D is already done. 1, 2, 3D is done. So everybody's minimum 4D, all right? And if we want to do even compartmentalization like this, because we've all moved up a whole universal level, but everything is merging and unifying as one organic creatrix field, okay? We have no more division as such. But again, there's also division as in, depending on how much you've already cleared and activated, how many of your multidimensional gifts and abilities you can access. Because the more DNA strands you have, the more really just access to consciousness you have, consciousness fields. These are dimensional frequency bandwidths. Yeah. So this is really just consciousness. The same as when we speak about it's a war over DNA. Yeah, it's a war over consciousness. Your DNA holds the consciousness. So that's why what I transmit is always from source. I'm here to transmit pure source light and codes and love. And yes, through my vessel. But I know my transmissions come from a very pure heart, a very pure place. And again, everything is being purified in this field. So, and in my activations, you're always in your own field as well within the collective field. Yeah. But obviously, everybody will react differently to the activations. You need to feel out if you feel comfortable with someone's activations, if you want to try them out or not. Just always trust your intuition. Also, at some points in time, you might not want to, you know, your system might be overloaded and you don't need to do someone's activation, okay? And I have to say, there are so many false light leaders, teachers, healers out there that, yeah, I mean, I literally let no one into my field or heal me besides maybe my beloved, or, you know, I don't know, someone I would need to know really closely. But ultimately, I always do my own healing, and we all do our own healing, but also obviously on the way, we're all being helped. So I also had healings along the way, and I had regression, and I've done my Reiki master, but I wouldn't connect at all what I'm doing now with Reiki whatsoever. But it's still channeling of course, source energies. But I've learned a lot of things along the way since I made that course. So basically, you need to see if you trust my activations and my transmissions, and with anyone else, and you always need to feel it out, really. Okay, as I've said before, sometimes I get my words wrong. Like when I look back at my videos, and I'm always speaking to myself here and always integrating more of my own teachings and lessons and sharings, or however you want to call it. And basically, and then I get a little bit annoyed because I get words wrong. Because yes, precision, which is one of my gifts, is in language is important. But then also I know that ultimately it's a frequency, and especially when I do live transmissions, I get so much energy, and also because the whole field that needs to be held with all the other intermingling energies, that it's just sometimes like words pass me. Because also the higher we go in frequency, the more words we lose. Ultimately, it's, you know, we're going to be using language less and less. And ultimately our sound, as it is for sound healing, sounding, humming, because language is, and I've said this many times before, what separates us, okay? Because we use him, her, them, us, past, present, future. So as soon as we use language, there comes separation. But I do know the importance of language, but ultimately it's people need to feel the frequency, because even if I might get a word wrong here or there, the frequency of truth is being transmitted here. And also people will get tired from listening to me, because it's a very high frequency stream and keys and codes coming through. So I transmit sacred ascension keys and codes. And again, we all have them. Okay. But I'm just stating what I'm here for. And they help you to purify, clear, heal, balance, harmonize, upgrade your whole morphogenetic field, DNA, trigger your remembering, activate your divine blueprint. That's what I'm here for. Because I literally hold a cosmic divine ascension blueprint. Because that's also connected through the lineages that I'm connected to, which are the Christic lineages, and the basically being here as a representative for the cosmic divine mother and the Sophia, and also the cosmic mother of dragons. So these are the frequency I hold, and ultimately for the Holy Trinity and the Holy Family, also having connections as Sarah to the Mary and Jeshua line. But these really go through many other generations, or throughout the eons, other timelines that we have incarnated into. And all these memories are returning now. And it's a lot. And there's also a lot of misinformation out there right now and people's channelings. So I would suggest you are here to access your knowledge from your cosmic ancestry, our true cosmic history that goes beyond even this galaxy. Okay, and it's not about tuning into ascended masters and archangels, although at the highest level we all one, but it's about you accessing your identity, because you have very specific, unique keys and codes, and you are, I believe, not here to be a spokesperson for other entities. Now, you might be connected to, collectives and councils at these higher levels. Obviously, only you know, but it really should be connected to your higher identity stream, to your monad and avatar levels. Because we're here to retrieve our original, our own gnosis, wisdom, and it's connected with the igniting of our crystal hearts and the crystalline covens and networks within and without. So also at this stage, I'm going to be hopping all over the place as I can see it. So just me talking is activating, clearing, and helping you, balance your field. Now, you might get sleepy, but that's a good thing. Just let it happen. If you need to sleep sometimes and you can't, put a video of mine on activation. I've heard it helps. So basically, I'm offering an activation, which is basically Emerald Heart activation. And it's also going to be very much supported by the Cosmic Mother of Dragons. And it's basically us activating our Krystar SAphiRA Diamond Rainbow Plasma Lightbody in Merkaba further, which is already happening through my last activation that I have shared in my last video. Also check out on my YouTube page, there is a live link, that live tab, and then there is home or just video tab. Okay, there are different videos. They used to have them all in the home tab, but the live videos for some reason are now separate. So this is in the home tab now, and just check the live tab out. That was the last video that also has an activation, which again helped really open up our hearts and activate the Krystar SAphiRA Diamond Rainbow Plasma Lightbody, our divine blueprints, and our Merkaba. And we're spinning faster and faster. Our atoms, our whole field, our Merkabas, we're all aligning, because the whole rotten staff, our axial alignments of our Merkabic field and that of the planet have been fully realigned. The masculine and feminine are in full divine union within, and now everything is going to be projected out, because this is our biggest dreams coming true. Okay, so get ready and open up wide, basically. What did I want to say? Wait a moment. Anyway, I've got so many notes, it's too much. Emerald Heart Awakening and activation of the Emerald Heart Grid and our Lightbody, and basically merging all of our aspects, so especially our dragon aspects, which is already happening. But we're going to further activate in this activation. And I'm going to leave a link below, okay? Because this is going to be by access via purchase. Now I put a code to it as a minimum of €7.77 for you to access the activation, because I have for over a year now literally provided everything for free for everybody to, pick up on the keys and codes, because that's what I've been guided to in order to bring, do my part and make this available for everyone, ultimately. And also because we have been going through challenging times and we're all transcending some self-worth issues. So, but basically, I know that my activations are very powerful. Okay, I do know their worth, so that's not a problem. Okay, and I have started now in the last 2 months to do, a couple of calls that I've provided against, basically a donation, because I need people also to support me back. Okay, and I need people also to see the value, although it's priceless and invaluable, but it's both ends, you get me? And it's energy, we're exchanging energy, okay? And we're still playing with those things. And it's really number 777 also very much is fully sealing in the full clearing of all bloodlines and ancestral lines throughout all time and space. And especially, so what you do is you basically follow the link and you will be able to purchase this for 777 minimum. If you can do more, would like to give more towards it, you can also do this. Thank you so much for your support back. If anyone cannot make this for whatever reason, please send me an email. The email is also below. Again, no one is being left behind, but it needs to be an email, okay? And yeah, you will be able to access the link. There should be a button at the you purchase, and then you will receive an email, and there will be a button within the email. Otherwise, check your junk mail folder. If you have any problems, send me an email, okay? And I'll sort you out. But via this link and via the email you get after purchasing, you have a button in the email, and that will get you to the content, okay, which is a download link, MP3 download link of the activation. And basically, it's really helping us fully merge in all of our aspects, especially our dragon aspects, which is holding the ancient gnosis, our ancient wisdom, power, abundance, protection, okay? It's the original form before we have incarnated into other forms, okay? So the first kind of materialization of form from the God worlds, all right? So very powerful activation. Join me. The link is below if you like. And again, also, if all of my videos do support you and all the activations are on my SoundCloud and that I've provided an MP3 for you to download, and you would like to, support me back, you can do so via donation with the links below. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for the people who have been getting this and have been supporting me. Thank you so much. I know I don't always send the messages back to say thank you, but I hope you know, and telepathically I do send. At this point also, private messages, emails, all of that stuff, I just am very limited in being able to reply to them, okay? I don't offer private sessions because I have been, again, over the last year and a bit, just as I've been literally holding the field to bring this to conclusion, this whole merging of all realities, realms, timelines, universes as one, and holding this divine organic creatrix field, reality, okay? I was just guided by source to really focus on the one consciousness. And I couldn't, and I still can't, because every time I've tried just to help anyone, it's really interfering in my work. And I just can't be of that support to other people on a one-to-one basis. Okay, I might sometimes reply to a message, but I generally just can't. And when this is all fully done and we are dancing at the party, we're all gonna have, a fun conversation, maybe telepathically. And they're already happening, okay? The telepathic field is very alive. And I know also I often hear people saying, I've had a few reports of me appearing to people metaphysically, and that's always interesting to hear. I can't often remember those instances. But anyway, so just sorry if I haven't replied to your email. I don't do private sessions. That's why this is all I do. If you would like to support me back, because I've been literally supporting everybody for free, whoever wanted to listen to this, thank you. I also need to do the activation at the moment. I'm being guided to do these kind of privately, to keep them in private containers, because there's been so much negative energy being sent to me throughout, especially the last year or so, that I don't need that in the container. So if you're interested, you can purchase, so to say, and also support me back. All right. Now, where were we? So basically, this is all, there's a lot happening between the masculine and the feminine. Okay, the divine counterparts, twin flames, how we want to call it. I'm going to bring this in here now before I forget it. As somebody asked somewhere, and I didn't, I think, reply to the comment, just remember now, because they were talking about different, twin flames, twin rays, and you have soulmates and all of that. And as I've said before, I don't like to really compartmentalize as much, but then also obviously there are very different frequencies and purposes that these type of relationships serve. And twin flames or twin rays for me are the same. Now, I don't argue over definitions, and whatever you believe, whatever any word means, is your definition ultimately. Now, this was though kind of asked in reference to if you have more than one, let's say, you have a twin flame or a twin ray, and then maybe soulmate as well. I'm not too sure what the exact question was, but basically going along the lines of polygamy. Is that the right word? When you have more than one partner. Now, my stance on this is that having more than one partner at a sexual level, especially, is very messy energetically. I would not recommend it. It's kind of exactly what we're trying or have been clearing, because we've been clearing all these karmic connections, cords and hooks, and especially the womb healing that's been happening, and that's we're fully completing now, and the sexual healing of all the sexual distortions. And this is one of the issues, having messy energetic fields and being connected to all kinds of people. Okay. Now, also I've been shown cords and hooks and all these attachments is actually ultimately you still having an attachment to people, whether knowingly or unknowingly. So whenever we have maybe past relationships, and this actually includes across all incarnations. Okay. So again, knowingly and unknowingly, that's what we're clearing always in whatever past life regressions or in dreams and other maybe metaphysical experiences we might be having in visions or remembering and so forth. But ultimately, we always can clear all of the stuff in the here and now through, again, healing happens in many different ways and forms. There's never just one thing that does it for us. Okay. I believe it's always a combination of many different things. So, and it happens physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but especially spiritually, you just need to clear all that stuff. And that's what we've been doing. Okay. And that's where you need to fully come to peace with any kind of outstanding, let's say, karmic issues you might still have, whether it's a sibling or mother, father, or a child or an ex-partner. And especially ex-partners had to be fully cleared for us to be able to come into divine union with the divine counterparts. So if you have 2 or 3 different people on your radar, it's going to be very messy. I would not recommend it. It also triggers memories from harems from other lifetimes, which I have not enjoyed, although there was great sisterhood within the harems, okay? But still, this is not where we are going, whether it's feminine or masculine, because we are one, okay? There is no more division of, I don't know, men could have this and women not, or whatever. Not that we are still living in those times, but you get me. So the divine new relationships are very much about devotion and loyalty and a deep sacredness and intimacy and connection. And she cannot have that with another interfering frequency. That's exactly what we're clearing. Now, on that note, on my last video, I also shared a link beneath that was about sexual magic or white tantra. and how to transmute sexual energy. And I've been familiarizing myself a little bit more with the whole concept before I wanted to say more about this. I'm leaving a couple of links of this, like the same link as in this my last video, and then another one from the same person. Now, again, when I share links, it's usually just for that video. I'm not vouching for the people, okay, in general, because I haven't watched all of their material. I'm not familiar with everyone's work full on, okay? So always use your own discernment anyway. With everything I say, anyone says, anything I share, yeah? We take what resonates and leave the rest. Not everything always aligns. You know, I also don't fully always agree with the language or symbols being used or whatever, but the essence, what I'm trying to share, what might help other people, is there, okay? Now, this is all about, why Tantra is all about basically sex without orgasm. So it's really making love. And what I've really been tuning into is that I was very neutral about the whole concept, or rather I was more tending towards, I'm being quite fond of my orgasms. And I think many people can agree. So I've looked at this and I've been, you know, kind of contemplating it and then seeking higher guidance and meditating on it and also exploring it more. And I've come to the conclusion that it's totally the key to clearing all the sexual distortions which is happening now, and all the inversions and also the misuse of life force, because we've all been abusing our sexual life force. And this is the key to really using this as white love magic. And you can clear your chakras and your whole field with an orgasm, but this is a whole other level. And it will not get you up and down from arousal to depletion. And it will keep, basically, you are cultivating your energy and you keep raising it and you keep amplifying it instead of depleting it. And it will also, it's basically, as he says in the video, it's the one organic kind of medicine for erectile dysfunction. It also helps basically with menstrual problems and also menopause. And many other things. It's really worthwhile digging into it. The answer was also, we are not meant to explode. As in, so basically when we have an orgasm, it's like exploding the energy in our field, even if we're using it, and we can bring it up our Kundalini, all right? But raising the energy and not dispersing it in your field is allowing you to, it's just a much purer energy, and it moves the whole sexual energy from your genitals to your heart. That's what's happening. And it's especially important for the masculine, because it's also connected to lust and desire. And desire gets a bad rap, but lust is different. So a heart's desire is so different to a genital, desire or sexual desire. You get me? So lust, and what we've seen has happened with, kind of, the misuse of sexual energy on a really deep level, such as adrenochrome and, sexual ritual abuse, is what we're literally healing as we're returning to white tantric sexual practices. And it's really making love instead of having sex. And that energy is super extra potent for manifestation, which again, all sexual energy is. But this is really the key also to help the couple who engages in this to keep being in a loved up state, instead of, again, this kind of love, hate, or, you constantly have kind of imbalanced energy. So it really will help you to balance and clear and heal your energy field at a whole other level. Now, that's my perspective at the moment. I'm only just getting myself into, fully have shifted my mindset on this one, or just reconfirmed, I guess, an ancient knowing. But again, it's also about always just, that's the truth at the moment that I'm at, but it's definitely worth exploring more, and we'll see where we get to, as we play around with this a little bit. So yeah, so I believe this is a huge key, and it's really what's freeing us all. It's freeing all the children, because we're literally clearing the sexual abuse, because we have abused our sexual energy, which is our life force. And this is massive, because it's all about the way, we're using energy. Are we just wasting it and spraying it onto the walls? And that's a little bit over the top, you get me? Or are we literally alchemizing it? Because it's all about alchemization. The same with any negative energies and feelings, anger or, passion and so forth. It's just, we don't let it take hold. We alchemize it, but it always will point you to deeper truth, because in your emotions are literally your superpowers locked in, and they help you to truly access your gifts and abilities and the wisdom, because they help you remember. If you don't go into the difficult feelings arising right now and memories, you don't get the gold nuggets, because what we need to get to is that everything happened for the highest reason. Okay, the infiltration, the dramas, the traumas, even the rape and the hybridization trauma, because it has helped us ultimately to expand our DNA. Not that we didn't also offer DNA rehabilitation and expansion programs to the invading races for free, so to say, and I did still have to rape us, but ultimately, I don't believe it would have happened to this extent. So the fall in consciousness basically happens to the contraction in order for us to expand further than ever before, for us to now truly create this one true divine organic creatrix field where it's all merged as one. And there's no more time. It's beyond any yugas, it's beyond any timelines, and no more fallen consciousness, because this is also not some just paradise, but there will be variation. Like it is paradise and it is the new Eden, okay, because it's based on a whole new consciousness, but there will be also variations of, we still need to be able to feel negative emotions. We have still boundaries and discernment, because there needs to be a certain, too much purity breeds imbalance. And that's kind of where we were in Lemurian times. And then basically the masculine and the feminine, who were one androgynous body, were split into two bodies. And first of all, that in and of itself created imbalance, because we had the other essence missing within us, and we were kind of projecting onto one another what we were missing, or missing within ourselves. It's all about projections and mirroring. So, we either see in one another what we love or what we hate. You know what I mean? Until we no longer judge anything. So, and that's where we're at right now, where also the masculine, the feminine are literally seeing one another through the eyes of love, unconditional love. There's ultimately nothing that needs to be done beyond just full unconditional love, which is having that for one another, which is sealing one another, the blueprints fully. And yeah, it's really beautiful. And it's these Amoria heart activations, which is really the Holy Spirit within you igniting, is bringing the whole Supernova the Heart event online. It's basically climaxing here. If you want to speak about orgasms, but in a very beautiful way. So no explosion, all right? Which was never meant as such anyway. It's just the colliding of two hearts that become one heart flame. Because this is also about the Andromeda galaxy and the Milky Way merging again as one, because the Milky Way was part of the Andromeda galaxy, and through the cataclysmic events, we have exploded into places that we shouldn't be, and the explosion of Tara or Tiamat and so forth. So this is all healing, and we're literally merging with the only one reality, or the only one version of Earth, so to say, there should be, which is Ascension Earth, which is full-on 12D or 13D Earth. And again, we're merging all realms, universes, timelines as one. So you will have kind of areas like a new Lemuria and new Atlantis and Tartaria or whatever else within that construct. And it's very malleable, because we can really create and uncreate through shifting frequencies, because ultimately all is always already created Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to think of it. And then it's more aligning with that manifestation of that. Now, let me just check my notes. So basically the divine love and the bliss and the joy and the balancing. So the forerunners have now fully merged the masculine and feminine within their field. Full divine union is igniting this full awakening of the heart and the event. Basically, we're climaxing, and I think many can feel it. We're basically any moment now, it's done. It's already done. So it has already happened. Let me remind ourselves, it has already happened. Okay, just quantum merging with that. The already ascended diamond avatar self, which we already are, and that's literally already happening. Like today, massive activations. For these activations, like just a massive explosion of corrected emerald ray throughout the hearts, fields, the whole field, and this is returning all the original divine blueprints and music of the spheres, which is holding the corrected dark matter body template and instruction sets for the consciousness, and which are the sound and light fields. Okay, because the emerald ray is where all the other rays come from, and ultimately it's also the white ray beyond that. But there was a distortion with an emerald ray, and there was a correction and full ignition throughout the field. And that's literally igniting our emerald heart and the Amoria heart flame activations, which is the Holy Spirit within our high heart, is fully activating our thymus, high heart. So this can cause a lot of anxiety or excited feelings, so bliss, love, but then you also have the opposite end. Okay, so as we keep rising very quickly in frequency now, in vibrational frequency bandwidth, okay, we're spinning faster and faster. If you can't keep hold, if you can't keep up, so to say, or people who just can't keep up with these high frequencies, there will be suffering. And you will be facing anything you need to face right now. That's just where we're at, because everything is being revealed from the inside out. Because the truth, which is the love frequency, love is truth, which is freedom, it's all interconnected, which is abundance, all interconnected, is fully coming online through the blueprint activations, which is us being our true authentic self. And it's ultimately a frequency, because it's your consciousness fully online, where you have no longer any separation between your masculine and feminine, which is your heart and your mind. Your heart and your mind are in full unison and divine union. Basically, and the masculine is now holding the container, the safe container for the feminine to share her gifts and her wisdom and abilities through. And they're no longer afraid, because there's a safe container. And through the healed morphogenetic field, we no longer need to defend. There are no longer going to be attacks that will be totally neutralized in our field. And yeah, that's the job done, literally. Okay, so it's all about bringing all of these aspects of multidimensional selves into unison, which is also the 144,000, which is the 144,000 archetypes of the Godhead. And this is what we're rebirthing. All right, and this is us being our own unique true self, and we're connected to many, many star systems and races and galaxies interdimensionally. Okay, it goes way beyond the 12 or 13 original star races or magic gray lines or councils that have seeded us, which are us. So we have to fully right now reclaim our guardianship, our leadership, remember who we are. So first of all, we need to let go through the ego death, okay, of any kind of sense of identity, to be reborn as your true self, where you then remember what you're here for, your true purpose, before anyone told you are supposed to be or who they think you are. All right, you're remembering who you are, your gifts, abilities, your wisdom. You're part of humanity's history, of the emerald tablets that you are here to bring, of the cosmic records. Okay, now, and this is awakening from within through the DNA and crystalline activations, which is also what my activations help with. So basically, this is what's igniting the true history records, our true history records of our ancient future, where none as where basically the wars have never happened, that parallel reality we are merging with, quantum merging with, okay, new ascension earth, fully ascended, God source consciousness across all, is igniting through us remembering those realities. So you need to go into any painful memories right now. And if things come up, betrayal is a big thing. Betrayal of the masculine to the feminine, which is a betrayal of the mind to the heart. When the mind doesn't listen to the heart's guidance. When the mind says, no, you're crazy, heart. When you suppress your divine feminine and gaslight it. Because it has higher knowing. And the heart has won. Within us all. The divine feminine is taking over, leading, okay? Together with the masculine. And again, within us all. All right? That needs to happen for the masculines as well. They need to let the heart lead. They need to let the feminine lead. And the masculine is holding a safe container where it listens to the heart. And the original betrayal really is when we go back to Lemurian times or any of the invasion timelines, it's basically letting in the infiltration that only came in because we started projecting onto one another because of the split and division within the families and masculine and feminine. But we let in the infiltration, they trusted basically the masculine let in the false light and the invaders and the imposters, and they allowed to split, because when they let go of the container and they no longer follow the feminine wisdom and go with someone else's ideas or truth, the container breaks apart. There is no more container. There's no more them. There's no more field that they share. Okay, so this is a lot about the masculine being fully present now and really supporting the divine feminine. And I want to say at this point, I have so much respect and honor for the divine masculine, and especially mine, of how they've carried themselves throughout this and really held had the inner poise to really dig deep and transcend their ego, basically, which is what's keeping them in the lower realms and, matrix, again, within us all. So it's with me as well. I had to let go further and further, and surrender to my heart. So we're all doing this. And we need to understand all of this needed to happen. So on one level, it's really stupid, letting people come between us, so to say. And this is all about, again, coming back to these rock solid relationships where it's like full commitment, but also total freedom. But where nothing comes in between a container anymore, where there's a safe container and the masculine honors the feminine wisdom and no longer betrays his own heart. Because only when we, betray ourselves, not true to our own heart, is when the betrayal happens out there. This is first all created within, and then it comes from the outside. That's why the only way we can never have an invasion happening again is that we know that it only happened because we betrayed ourselves. We're not listening to the heart, we're not listening to our feminine by allowing the container to break apart. So now the masculine is there to, he can see the feminine for who she really is, his true divine feminine, which he can only know when he has integrated his own inner divine feminine. And the same is happening, for the feminine with the masculine. She can only know her true masculine if she is in her own divine masculine, has her own safe container, and don't let anyone outside anymore question her wisdom. She has full confidence. We now have full confidence in our gifts, abilities, and wisdom, which is the key to New Earth and New Eden. And the Amoarea heart flame activations with the Holy Spirit activating within your high heart is also anchoring the true cosmic divine mother and father arc, which is overwriting all of the false parent archetype and all these distorted patriarchal and matriarchal distortions and masculine feminine distortions within the templates and blueprints. And we can feel it, the forerunners now fully balanced. So the masculine feminine coming into divine union within your own field gives you balance, tranquility, equilibrium. And I noticed this with people around me who are not into this work as well. So you see, as we change, all changes because they're all an extension of us. This is your reality. All is one. There's only one of us here. The number of minds in the universe is one. Erwin Schrödinger. So, but it's really true. It's one consciousness. That's why I've been always working over the last, as I said, year or so, specifically from the focus of the one mind that we all have access to, because we all come from the one mind, the one source that is eternal, that never dies, is forever present, and that we all have access to, because we're all from the one source. Yeah, so but I can get access to you also, but you need to connect to source. And that's what we're accessing now. And again, each has access to certain, parts of the consciousness or what they're here to anchor, and the keys and codes and wisdom they're here to share. But I see there's a lot coming in right now. There's a lot of sharing right now happening, I think, or at least I would implore you to share your wisdom, what's coming in, but make it yours and unify with your own soul, oversoul, avatar, rishi, which is your ascended master level, and God source consciousness. Okay, and just with your higher aspects, which there are several. I've integrated so far knowingly 4 higher aspects. Yeah, no, 5. Yeah, so there can be from different timelines. There can be higher dimension aspects, your dragon aspects, things like that. So, but there will be many more of that. Yeah, so this is like knowingly with names, if we need to give them. Again, there's also a funny thing about words, if we want to argue about them. It's the same as, if I want to argue about, like, in English, you call, the country, for example, Germany, Germany. In Germany, you say Deutschland. So are we going to argue over that? Like, I'm going to say, no, it's called Deutschland. You know what I mean? So the same as names for Earth. It's about what do we really mean. That's when we go into telepathy, where we basically have telepathic communication in forms of pictures and a whole data download, where there's no more room for all of this miscommunication and lost in translation and lost basically in translation between egos. That's all this all is. Ultimately. Because only the ego has created the false matrix. As you get rid of that, you also get rid of suffering. It's your ego that suffers. It's your ego that's connected to your identity, to places, people, things. As you let go, the magic happens. And that's a big theme right now, letting go. The feminine fully letting go of any expectations, anything happening on the outside. It's all happening within her. The power lies within. And you don't need to hold on to anything that is you anyway. And then everything comes to you, because again, the holding on or wanting something is like pushing it energetically away. And it happens in all kinds of ways and shapes and forms. But especially with manifestation, it's about fully letting go of the outcome or when and how anything is going to happen. And that's how you let go, and then let God surprise you. And infinite possibilities become available, because you just have a very small picture of what you think you need or what is available. And that's us co-creating, where, again, it's surrender also, because we're not little demigods here who can fully control their manifestations. This is in co-creation with the law of one, with all of life everywhere. Yeah, so we're not forcing our will. This is about tuning into the quantum field and source in your higher levels, knowing what do I have access to right now, but free of any letting go of any preconceived ideas and beliefs and opinions that you have picked up along the way. Because always ask yourself, is this belief or thought form serving me? If it's not, ask yourself, why do I believe in it? Is it really true? Maybe I can choose a higher thought form that is serving me more, because we get to choose. That's how we choose and co-create our realities, by no longer letting the outside inform us of what that should look like. So it's very much between the masculine and feminine right now, a deep feeling of total trust and feeling safe with one another, which is, there is no love without trust, ultimately. And you can only trust one another if you truly trust yourself, which you can only do when you truly know yourself. So the whole know yourself, know thyself, which can only happen if we fully looked at and integrated our shadow and light, the good and the bad. And this is not about perfection. That's another thing. So we don't want to put anyone on a pedestal, okay? Especially kind of leaders, teachers, gurus, all of that. Everybody is the guru here, okay? So total equality on this. Some might know some things more than others, but we all have our specialities, okay, so to say. Now, where was I getting with that? I don't know. I started with total trust and feeling safe with one another. Know thyself, integrate shadow light, perfection. Worshipping, okay, worshipping. We shouldn't worship anyone. It's like worshipping little demigods, okay? And God is within us all. So there's not also a source, although we look up and so forth, but it's like a higher consciousness field we are talking about, okay? Which is all of the universe, the source, so to say. And then when we're at that level of consciousness, the whole universe conspires for us. And we no longer see life as a threat. And that's the paradigm shift from fear to love, okay? Because everything is ultimately happening for us, isn't it? Teaching us what we need to learn, especially the challenging parts. So let's keep remembering that. Where was I going? I need to keep the thought. It's very difficult with these energies. They're so high. Oh my God. It's just Buddhic mind. No more past, present, past, future, just present. But it's challenging to keep thoughts together. Oh. It's totally gone now. Feeling safe with one another. I'm going to repeat this again. Oh my God. Trusting. It's gone. Okay, I need to move on. Sorry. Now, let me just check my notes. So we had a lot of solar energies yesterday, quieter today, but as you can see, even with the measurables not being in high alert, kind of high levels, super like the unseen activations that me and other people will share and talk about is bringing all this online. And yeah, we can feel any moment now. I believe the artificial simulation is fully going offline. The pole shift physically completing. It's already accelerating. It's already been going on for a while. Okay. So this is fully completing. And this is bringing online the new magnetic buffer field, which is also the tribal shield or tribal field, which is replacing the artificial magnetic field. And it's also part of the pole flip and shift, which is already energetically completed. And again, it's happening in our own fields as you have then plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, instead of just, plus and minus and so forth. So it's a whole, again, we're shifting from kind of a toroidal field to a butterfly configuration in our field. It's a butterfly pattern or the Yan-Yun flow, as I have shared in other videos. Now, that's also a thing. If you want to ever check out any of my other videos, they really include timeless navigational tips, which help you to reprogram and, upshift your consciousness, which is basically triggering your divine blueprint. So I've done it even with myself, my own videos. Just go to anyone you feel guided to at any point, and just stop somewhere, and it will give you something timeless in that moment. I bet you. It's quite interesting doing that. You also can do this with books sometimes. It's opening a book somewhere. It's a little bit like pulling, kind of tarot cards. Just a message you might need in that moment. You can also ask a question and then go and choose a book or a video, for example, and see what kind of answer comes. That just came in. Anyway, so this is helping the final purification of the false matrix realities in our blueprints, okay? They've been fully activated. And this massive leap in consciousness and shift is unfolding, and it's bringing a massive amount of downloads and crystal clarity. Like as I said, it's hard to focus and makes you very sleepy because we literally, our whole systems, bodies, our operating system, it's been totally rebooted. But as you learn how to use your life force correctly, you will feel rejuvenated. You will feel rejuvenation and your life force returning and no longer having so much bipolar energies running in your field. And that's happening generally because our whole blueprints and the crystal spirals, our whole system is being reset. So we are forever perpetuating energy rather than sucking energy of one another or just having a certain amount of energy that runs out at the end of our life, which is part of the fallen consciousness. Okay, so as the consciousness corrects, eternal life, perfect health, you don't need med beds. You just need a shift in consciousness. Okay, because a med bed still, it's the same as you getting an operation. If it doesn't shift your consciousness, you get sick again. Okay, that's my perspective on this. Now, I don't say you don't have, like I've seen and worked with crystal healing chambers, but they're already multidimensionally available. It's crystalline technologies, organic. We don't go for AI ascension timelines, themes. I don't, anyway. And as I said in my last video, this is happening now. This is completing now, as I see. The New Earth realities are going to be online any moment now. So we're not talking about weeks and months here at all. Not that I like to be linear. Yeah, this is completing all of our healing journeys. The foreigners can feel it in their field. The when humans complete, I believe the last bit is for the original twin flames, divine counterparts, to come physically together, however that may play out, to complete the full healing of the physical and switch the old artificial matrix offline and bring the organic creatrix field online, because they carry the codes within. One thing is etherically and energetically and with your plasma body connecting. Another one is physically being connected and activating one another's fields. And again, I also believe sacred sexuality is a huge key to all of this. So I believe this is the key to our ascension. But, so surprise me. I mean, however or whatever may happen here. So basically, we're completing our healing. As we're remembering what went wrong, the betrayals, we will have all betrayed ourselves and others at some point in our lives and other lifetimes, okay? So as you remember, especially for those connected to the Melchizedek priesthood, and ultimately from the oneness, again, we've all have these aspects that have basically served or pledged their service to the false light, not knowingly most of the time, but by the false light disguising itself as the true light. And this is happening again by us all at one point or another, falling for the false leaders and healers and, those imposters and those people who are corrupted, so to say, okay, who are not saying who they are, who they pretend to be, and are not, having honest and pure intentions, all right? And that's been happening a lot. It's happened to me. That's the only way I've learned, again, because we weren't standing in our truth. We didn't know our own power. We didn't know who we really are, okay? And that's how we get to know ourselves. That's how we find out what betrayal feels like. That's how we know next time that comes around, okay? And everything, again, has served the highest purpose, just as any difficult experience we ever had in our lives made us the person we are today. So now we know better. So ultimately, again, there is no forgiveness needed, but then there is also, that the masculine, and this has already happened etherically, has asked the feminine, for forgiveness, or has seen where things went wrong, and that he's projected his unacknowledged shadow aspects onto her. So it's all good, but it's still the click where you need to make it physical. At least that's what I'm seeing. Or totally disregarding the physical as well, but it's kind of like building bridges, okay? And then totally igniting each other's blueprint. That's what I'm seeing. So it has already happened. It's already done. And again, there's no real forgiveness needed, but we need to see where did things go wrong and need to make amends. And especially at a consciousness level, because that's you being in conflict or being in separation with an aspect of you. If there's still something outstanding in your consciousness, okay? Any kind of war or discord you have with anyone in your life, whether living or unliving. And again, you can resolve this within your own consciousness by having these conversations within your own mind, because it's ultimately you talking to yourself, because there's only one mind here, one consciousness. And this is about a full reconciliation and healing of the fragmentation of the monad, which is the one consciousness, okay, which is at the core of the consciousness. But again, we are all part of. So this is a big letting go process for many. And to welcome all new, because these are all new beginnings, but we have to let go. Okay, so nostalgia and all of that, attachment to a false reality, I'd recommend letting it go, because there's a whole better reality right ahead. The bright new dawn is here. The future is very bright, and it's right here, right now. Okay, and we are here to activate it through us standing in our power and remembering we're here the guardians. And we can only do this when you really look and see what went wrong. Because if you don't take responsibility and accountability for the actions and mistakes of the past, then you will not be given back your power. That's the fail-safe mechanism. All right, because you can only gain, regain your consciousness that way, which is your power, which holds your keys and codes, your multidimensional DNA, as you align with that consciousness, which understands what is the highest, behavior or way of perceiving things. So basically seeing through the eyes of God and having crystal clear vision, which is you seeing where you went wrong, making the adjustments in behavior, in behavior and beliefs, then you can do better. And that is what heals your morphogenetic field and blueprint, which is activating your multidimensional DNA and your gifts and abilities, and your superpowers. It's all interconnected, and it all comes back to consciousness. So it's all about that, know that self, and you really need to look. But look with a lot of compassion, only then, because only if you judge yourself, all this guilt, shame, all this stuff, vanity, all goes out the window. It's only your ego who's attached to this stuff. Okay, that's the fear, that's the suffering. All comes back to that. So once you transcended your ego, where you need to look, but it's like roles you're playing. So you're not attached to those identities, because we've been playing so many roles and we've all done things wrong. Again, we're the victim here, the victimizer, the hero, and the villain. We're all of these things. That's you merging shadow and light. You need to get to that level of consciousness where you totally transcend all of these ego identity, alchemize. So when we say death of the ego, it's not killing it with anger. It's just knowing it's not real. It's a fictitious character. It does not exist. Just like the Matrix does not exist. This isn't real. It's artificial. Okay? This is 95% of our realities are artificial overlays. So only thing you want to look at is really organic life forms and organic life, and much else is literally going to dissolve and evaporize with the rest. Now, remember, your ego is not real. Let go of all the stuff. Look at it, transcend it, alchemize it. Okay, because this will then give you the power to now choose better, because you understand how important it is for you to get it, for you to make adjustments and fully reclaim your leadership, the guardianship, responsibility over your realities. And that's the only way to get there. We're taking full responsibility. So any narcissistic projections don't work anymore at all in the field. It doesn't, because you're just going down with the false matrix any moment now. The time is up. The time is up. I'm telling you guys, this is tickety tock past midnight already. All right, any moment now. And people who think this is going to go on forever, no. Timelessness doesn't mean this is going on forever. This is about divine right order and frequency, timing and alignment. But frequency is timing. All right. All right. So your worth, and especially for the masculine, having transcended the false masculine archetype or macho man, or how they've proven their worth previously through achievements or power over others, or status symbols, money, the job, all of this nonsense. And again, for women as well, the masculine within us all we've been busy transcending, because that's not our worth. That's nonsense. It's not even real. All this shit is not real. Okay? It doesn't, where we are going, none of this matters. Your money or what you own matters nothing, ultimately. Okay? Now, this is all ultimately projected from the inside out, especially, again, what we're accessing now. Now, your worth is you sharing your gifts and your abilities and your superpower. You igniting new earth, you clearing and healing your field, that's your gift to humanity. That's your worth. Because that's what ignites new earth now. That's what heals everyone. Could there be any greater gift? Like for any masculine out there thinking because they have nothing to show for, let's say. And I mean, I'm the same on a material level. All right. It's like you could feel like a loser, but ultimately it's like, no, I have so much worth within me. There are diamond mines and the, the most beautiful riches that are within us, literally. I mean, it's the whole crystalline, the whole cosmos is inside of us. Okay, that's when we no longer feel separate from anything. And again, there have been certain things with no reality that haven't allowed us also to fully manifest as we have wanted. Okay, so there's been many parts to this. Okay, but now with all the interference clearing, all the doubts, all the worries, all the fears, it's just everything is going to come at once, like one jackpot after another. It's your wildest dreams come true, and it will just get ready for big fat abundance. And that happens as you fully reclaim your worth, and that's your gifts, abilities, your wisdom, and as you share them, because it's you having full confidence, because your divine masculine is holding the container and you're safe to do so. And nobody's gonna gaslight you anymore, because your field is totally rejecting any of that nonsense. Okay, and if they try, they're gonna be healed, so to say, or it's evaporized. So your embodiment of your true authentic self, that's your worth. That's igniting your blueprint. That's igniting the blueprint of new earth. This is freeing everybody from the slavery and the matrix and returning abundance and freedom and victory to all. And it's here now, okay? It's here now. Arthur is returning. King Arthur is returning. I drew a card this morning from my dragon deck, but the remembrance is returning, okay? And the Emerald Order is fully back. This is the full Emerald Awakening, the return of King Arthur and the true divine masculine with his divine feminine. However, like we want to call them, a Guinevere or, Mary Tartan and so forth. So many different words. It's the same as us integrating the goddesses and God. Oh yeah, but I wanted to go with the not idolizing. I think that was the trail I forgot earlier. Not idolizing, okay, one another. So especially when we go between the masculine and the feminine, the divine counterparts, it's very much they are each other's ideal masculine and feminine embodiment. So it's easy to put them on a pedestal, okay? And it's just easy that it's like, this is the only person and I need to be with them. But we actually have to fully transcend that, all attachment, fully letting go of that idea, because it's about love that's non-objectified, okay? It's a love that is just a state of beingness, a state of consciousness that we're anchoring. And it goes beyond the objectification even of your masculine or feminine. Now, you see them as the highest embodiment and God-like or goddess-like, and they ultimately, like we are integrating all these different goddess and goddesses aspects, but this is not about some demigod. And this is also about the perfection part, comes in. So if we're seeking too much perfection or we're putting someone up on a pedestal, you're like making them out as if they're perfect, as they're infallible. So either you're not looking properly or you're having like kind of rose-colored glasses on and you're looking away from the maybe, not so good sides, or you're, it's kind of basically your own projection, because often what also happens in this case is like a love bombing, or where you're like kind of you're loving someone and then like it's afterwards it's like just seeing all the negative parts and then it's just criticism, gaslighting and so forth, especially connected to narcissistic type relationships. So anyway, that all goes out the window. So we're no longer putting anyone on a pedestal, whilst we also see them as the perfect embodiment. But the perfect embodiment is a unification of the God and the human, which is also fallible, or rather is perfectly imperfect. Because don't you think like perfection, what we sometimes think of it, there is first of all no perfection, because everybody obviously has different tastes. Otherwise we would be all the same. And that's not what this is about at all, obviously. And, what I love, you don't love, and vice versa, which is the only way this can work out. So, we also then don't go for the same partner. And it's about finding the perfect match, because twin flames are also genetic equals. So there's a genetic resonance, okay? And again, you have this with any kind of relationships within your soul groups, who you are at frequency level more connected to than others, okay? Because it's consciousness levels, it's frequency levels, okay? It's soul frequency. And where we're getting at is where it's like, isn't something only perfect if they're only also imperfect? You know what I mean? Like anything too perfect is just fake. And this is all about authenticity. Okay. It's the same as if we're pretending to always have this like perfect embodiment of like awakening, of like always love and we're always happy and always everything blissful. This is not realistic. Because again, this breeds too much imbalance, which is what ultimately has happened and which we're correcting. Okay, so you need to have a realistic viewpoint of other people and perception, but it's those imperfections we love especially, because that's what makes them perfect in the end. Because it's like a vase, this Japanese thing, like vases that break and then they put them back together with gold. It's a little bit like this, we've all had our experiences. Nobody's like, this whole idea of this perfection and nobody should be ever angry or whatever or have any variations is not realistic, and it's not going to work. There needs to be variation, contraction and expansion to a certain degree, not to where we've been, basically the opposite. We're going to positive integrated polarity, so to say, within the Trinity. But you get me. What I'm trying to convey here is that it's like, because we often do this with people around us. We either just see negative or just positive, and it's really a reflection of where we're at ourselves. Because otherwise, they don't often change. It's our perception of them, our own mood, our own frequency and state of mind. So as we shift our perception of others, they shift. And I talked about this before. So because again, everyone is ultimately an aspect of you, but this doesn't mean we have control over them. And that really just mainly works with also shifting other people, especially in close relationships where there's mutual respect. Okay. So anyway, where I want to go with this. So basically, masculine and feminine can see each other through the eyes of God, but they also see each other not like idolized, okay, which just is not realistic in a way, but they see each other's imperfections and love them even more for it, because it's what makes us us. And what's an imperfection anyway? You know what I mean? And we have like our weak points, also our strong points. Let's say with me, I said this before, it's like, tenacity. I'm strong-willed. I need this for what I'm doing. But then I also have problems sometimes letting go. But now I think I've become a master at it. Because again, it was one of my hardest things to get, to figure out. The same with the confidence. I used to be really not confident. And now I believe I've found a nice level of confidence, but also humility. Again, it's both ends. We're integrating the paradoxes on all layers and levels. Okay. So again, where you're idolizing, I guess, or, you do see the other as an embodiment of God and God or goddess, so your divine counterpart, but you're not, idolizing them to the extent of having unrealistic expectations or wanting them to be like a version that they're not. Yeah, because we're taking everybody at face value. We're really seeing them for who they are without wanting to change anyone. But we are bringing the best out in one another instead of the worst. But we also tickle one another. Okay, so it's all about bringing consciousness, awareness, and accountability to one another. And we all always, helping one another see what we can't see on our own. That's the mirroring. Okay, but what are we mirroring? What are we projecting? And this is what's creating our reality. So as we change the way we look at things and people, what we're looking at changes. That's the quantum observer effect. I spoke about this many times. So the divine union between the masculine and feminine energies are triggering the most beautiful heart activations. This is activating our blueprints. It's activating new earth. It's activating the new grids, activating the cosmic quantum emerald tree of life, which is also connecting us to the God worlds. And it's basically we're merging, we're walking the stairway to heaven and merging the God source levels, heaven on earth, through us, through our hearts, literally, through divine union. This is essential. It's done. It's literally done. And we're just waiting now for the full climax to reach its final fireworks for them to come. So I've already said this, and I think I'll stop it here. I might at another point very soon make another video because I can't even talk anymore and I need a little break, and I think that's enough for now. I know I've been jumping around a little bit, but I hope it has been some of my videos are more concise than others because I do walk around a lot, but it all, again, there is a lot that comes through beyond the words, okay? It really does. And that's happening with any transmission you are listening to. So some people can say all the right things, but they're transmitting something very different. So with me, you get a lot of high ascension keys and codes and transmissions and frequencies that go beyond the words I'm transmitting here. But the words are also very helpful, and loads of navigational tips that should help you on your journey. Check out also my SoundCloud with loads of activations that help you activate your body and your blueprint. Again, if you would like to support me with a donation, the links are below. If you want to check out the activation to awaken your own multidimensional self, your inner cosmic dragon and emerald heart, check that out. And thank you so much for your support. Like, share, subscribe, comment to help me also bring the message across. Thank you so much. And I also love to hear any kind of feedback you also have, of course. It's always nice to hear, how my work also supports people. So I also know that, we're not doing this for nothing. Although I know that because I know my work is powerful, but you get me. It's like, obviously, we all still like to have feedback. So it's like we don't need the approval of others and we don't need people to love us. But obviously, it's still nice to be appreciated and to be valued. We all appreciate that, don't we? And recognition is a big part also that's coming, okay? And we need to give ourselves the recognition, first of all. Like, I know I'm serving a higher purpose, and I know this is affecting a lot of people, like literally everything. And again, every one of us does that, but it's how much you notice and use your power, the awareness and the consciousness and frequency you come from. And again, also what your specific gifts and abilities are. That's why know thyself is so important. Okay, so go in there, dig deep, right to the core, which is where you find your true self. And that's what ignites everything else. It's really that simple, ultimately, but it's not that easy, for sure not. It sure is not easy. And it's not for the weak of heart, it's for brave hearts. It's for the ones with big open hearts right now, okay? Because it's all about the willingness to surrender to the heart fully now, to this pure, true divine love. And nothing else makes sense because it's taking over. It's just, surrender or be dragged, so to say. And I think I'm happy to be dragged. I like surrender fully in any which way to love, okay? Because everything else was stupid. So divine justice is being delivered as the divine masculine fully rises in his true power as the protector of the divine feminine principle and energy, and as he holds the safe container for them to rebirth all of creation back to perfection, which is many things. This is returning heaven on earth, and they return the ancient gnosis, our true history records, our true remembering. What you remember, please share it, write it down, share it with other people, okay, to override the nonsense that's out there and all the misinformation. Thank you. And as the history records ignite, our new Eden ignites, the new organic ascension, earth, and our organic creatrix field ignites, and the masculine and feminine divine unions of their sacred crystal hearts and minds, aka crowns, really they're uniting as one heart flame. And it's really a triple flame, but also one. Okay, so they're the three, divine masculine and feminine, divine child, but also the one, which is the new Krystar SAphiRA. So we are birthing our own new self, okay, which is fully united, fully aligned, fully unified with Source as one. And all of our aspects, all of our multidimensional selves, it's safe again. It's time for us to start the fun and the playfulness. And again, I believe the love and the divine counterparts have a lot to do with bringing this in, because it's very much to do with love, bliss. Bliss is love and joy, kind of interchangeably, which is, when we have in love, everything becomes beautiful, doesn't it? So open up to love, allow it to show you the way home, because it does know the way. It really does. Okay? Don't gaslight your heart ever again. Please. Please. I'm saying this to myself. Truly. There's only one of us here. Let's remember this. Okay? Love you guys so much. I leave it here. I could go on forever. Maybe one more thing. As a divine feminine within us all fully claims her true worth and power, abundance flows. Okay? It's all connected. Again, you fully knowing your true worth of healing yourself, healing all, igniting new earth, knowing those gifts and abilities, claiming your leadership and guardianship over your earth is your abundance, because you're creating it yourself. You're projecting it out because you know you can. Okay? That's what's happening now. And it's all coming at once. Can you feel it? No more doubt, no more fear, no more worries. And if you're not there just yet, okay, I'm transmitting this to you. I'm activating this in your field. Okay? Allow all the rest to just clear without attaching to it. All the fears, worries, doubts, whatever may come up, okay? Pain, anything. Just know it's not your true self. Observe it. Ask for any lessons to be shown and let it go. It's not who you are. And ask to be shown your true self. And it's really coming in very strongly right now because it's being remembered from inside of us. It's being ignited. It's your consciousness, your DNA activating. Okay? And the instruction sets for New Earth, the architecture, it's all coming online from the inside out as you open up to love and let go. Mind into heart, okay? That's how the abundance flows when she fully reclaims her power. And she's infinite potential made manifest. At one with her inner masculine, it holds a safe container for her to share her gifts, abilities, and wisdom. Together they have fully healed the original split now, heralding the cosmic reunion, merging and unifying all realms, dimensions, timelines, universes, tribes as one. And this is ultimately about the unification of matter, antimatter universe. As that happens, that's a supernova of the heart event. It's masculine and feminine, creating all new worlds where all is unified as one. We're merging matter and antimatter, okay? All merged as one. Divine organic creatrix field already online. And the old is going to go off any moment now. So be ready, literally. Be ready for your wildest dreams fulfilled. Everything coming to you now. But you need to let go. Okay? That's the key. So know it's all part of you. There is no more anything to be afraid of. You are the universe. And why would you be attacking yourself if your consciousness is fully reset to God's source consciousness, which resets everything? Okay, the whole field is reset as one. Because people are confused about this. Yeah, but it's like kind of just the ones who are doing the work should be going to New Earth, so to say. And on some level, I really get that, but it's really just us thinking from a fragmented 3D perspective, so to say, where we're still in separation because we can't see the others are aspects of us. And we are here to heal them by seeing them already healed. Because they're like those fallen or, aspects that are suffering from within the one consciousness. So you need to basically train yourself to see yourself in other people and them as aspects of you until there's no more separation left. And that's where, we're here now, okay? We're here now. When there's no more separation left, that's divine union, that's ascension, it's done. It's done, it's done, it's done. Done. Merge and unify, synchronize with that reality right now, right here. You're already ascended diamond avatar self, full divine union within and without, your biggest dreams fulfilled, okay? Keep merging with the frequency of that, especially the feelings. Keep imagining it, keep going there often. And just withdraw your life support from anything that doesn't serve you. I would highly recommend, okay? Yeah, so thank you. And keep being the love, being a change. Most of all, the last one, authenticity goes over perceived kindness. We need to get over the whole people-pleasing feminine that was in a distorted aspect where she needs to be nice and like even, where she doesn't have her boundaries in check. And boundaries I might talk about next time. But basically, the main way you can keep your boundary is by you being authentically you. So if somebody is constantly overstepping, for example, a boundary of yours, and you already told them, okay, if you get pissy or whatever, that's you being your true authentic self. Never mind being kind or nice. All right? Because again, every moment will require a different person of you, aspect of you to step forth. So don't, it's so much more important, especially as we learn to, be authentic. And we have maybe been a people pleaser, not fully authentic towards other people, and not always said our full truth. It will be, a little bit challenging at the beginning, especially if there are people who've been constantly overstepping your boundaries. And you will be, for a while, have like, a little bit of an electric fence up with them, so to say. It's like, zzz, if you come too close, zzz, zzz. So you need to be, like, sometimes, being that, again, like anger or so, or having different aspects of you come up, don't judge it. Just don't judge it. It all evens itself out as you clear all of these trapped emotions, okay? So it can be a bit rocky if you suppressed a lot of emotions for a long time. Alchemize, okay? Learn ways to deal with it. As I said, go and scream. You can also scream into a pillow, or silent screaming. I'm good at silent screaming. Kind of stomp your feet, go boxing, or, obviously workout, whatever, nature, earthing, all of these things, to transmute the energies, but they need to come up and out. Okay, allow it. All of the density, negative emotions, just it's your resistance to it that it's causing the suffering. It's you're judging it because you want to feel good, but you need to go through it in order to get out the other side. Okay, you need to go to the sad to get to the happy. All right, and it's with everything. So the worst you can do is suppressing. You don't just throw it onto the walls, you alchemize it. Because again, that's your power. When you go into it, you will find wisdom, you will find a deeper understanding, you will integrate your pieces, all of your multidimensional self, and that unlocks your multidimensional DNA and more wisdom and gifts and abilities. All right. And again, you can use, for example, when you're angry, it shows you something is off. It shows you that something needs to be changed in your reality. It's a great catalyst for change. So never suppress it. Don't tell yourself you shouldn't be angry, okay, or whatever else. Just sit with it, face it, look for the wisdom, ask the question. It will be shown to you, really, especially now, okay? Crystal clarity is here. So just down. So I leave you. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love, so many blessings. And I'll see you when I see you. All right. So much love. Bye, bye, bye. And again, check the links out in the description box. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.